This is Adelaide's FIVEAA.
Partly cloudy this afternoon, 24 with the 3 o'clock news. I'm Michaela Kamarek.
Get your tickets before midnight Friday for the Hospital Research Foundation Home Lottery's $2 million early bird prize.
An Australian government charter flight is bringing Shane Warne's body home ahead of a private funeral. Dennis O'Kane reports.
Close friend Annie Maguire says it's an agonising wait for the Warne family to get Shane's body back in Melbourne.
That's the first step out of the way, and then of course I think the family are able to start mourning and start to plan for a private funeral and then the memorial service, which hopefully will be at the MCG later this month.
No date has been set for a state funeral. Premier Daniel Andrews says nothing will be done until the family is fully consulted and their wishes respected.
To make sure that when we celebrate Shane's life, that we do that consistent with what they want.
Mr Andrews says the memorial will be a chance for Victorians to pay tribute to Warne's contribution to his sport, to the state and also to the country.
The floods in New South Wales have claimed another 2 lives, with the body of a man and a woman found in a canal in Sydney's west, while another Queenslander has been killed in the floods, taking the toll from that state's weather emergency to 13. Meanwhile, Liberal frontbencher Angus Taylor is defending the work of the Defence Force in flood relief efforts. There has been widespread criticism of the lack of ADF support in flood-affected communities, but the government insists assistance will increase as floodwaters subside. Mr Taylor says the criticism is unfair.
The ADF, I think, have done phenomenal work in what I've seen at emergencies, and I certainly have nothing but good things to say about them.
Prominent Rundle Street nightclub owner driller Jet Armstrong has been fined $5,000 for allegedly dancing. The sugar owner, who is running Sugar Tecker in conjunction with Pizza Tecker in an open laneway as part of the Fringe, says he was swaying behind the DJ decks and has no intention of paying the fine.
It's very difficult for a DJ to stand behind a set of turntables when music is playing and not move when you've been doing it for as long as I have. I've been DJing since 1985. And I never thought this in my wildest dreams that dancing would one day become illegal to the point where I would be fined $5,000 for moving to music.
Australia is planning to impose further sanctions on individuals who distribute disinformation about the Ukraine conflict. It's on top of a raft of other penalties we've imposed against Russia over its invasion of the Eastern European country. Moscow has now added Australia to its list of unfriendly countries. The boss of the Australian Navy has acknowledged a toxic culture within the sector. The Royal Commission into Defence and Veteran Suicide has heard evidence from an 18-year-old Navy recruit at a public hearing in Sydney. Danielle Wilson claims she was told to suck it up after being sexually assaulted during a training exercise in the late 80s. Navy Chief Michael Noonan has told the inquiry there's no place for such behaviour.
What she described was abhorrent, should never have happened to her. And while I would aspire to have a Navy and a Defence Force that is free of such behaviours, I also acknowledge that there are behaviours that occur still today.
Now tuning to FIVEAA Sport. The tale of Australia's men's side is hoping to score quickly when it resumes at the crease for the final day of the first test against Pakistan. The Aussies are still 27 runs behind the home side's first innings total, with 3 wickets in hand. Batsman Steve Smith says they'll look to give themselves a chance at an unlikely victory.
If they do stay there for a while, it's a decent chance that we'd be able to set a half-decent total to potentially have a bowl at. You know, if we get 100 or something in front, you just never know with this game.
Meanwhile, at the innings break, Pakistan is 6 for 190 in the Women's One-Day World Cup match against Australia in New Zealand. In AFL, it's official that clubs will be able to list up to 20 players for COVID contingency lists. They'll be able to name the players to play only if the number of available players falls to 28 or less, providing they're out with the league's COVID protocols. And Alexander Zverev has received a suspended fine of $25,000 and an 8-week ban for his violent outburst that saw him booted from a tournament in Mexico. It puts him on probation until the 23rd of February next year. Now checking 5AA traffic.
At Kilkenny, got a smash on Kilkenny Road near Port Road. Dry Creek water main works on Cavan Road near Churchill Road. Glenelg North asphalt works on Anzac Highway near Morford Road. That's heading inbound, slow going there. And Theberton, look out for road plates causing a hazard. Port Road near George Street, speeds at 40 k's. Cameras Main Road, Wollonga, Military Road, Henley Beach, and Port Road at Hindmarsh. Enjoy your favourite Mexican food with Guzmani Gomez and save. Score yourself burritos and bowls for just $9.90. Yes, just $9.90 when you order via the GYG app. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Now the 5AA forecast. Partly cloudy this afternoon, 24. Partly cloudy tomorrow, 25. Thursday mostly sunny, 26. And Friday partly cloudy, a top of 27. Right now it's 22. Now let's hear what's happening on 9 News Tonight.
Exclusive. The southern suburbs grandmother robbed after a pokies win. See the bandits' arrest. The state's ambulance crisis. 2 patients die waiting. Why petrol price predictions have now hit $2.15 a litre. Flu fighter, the new vaccine this season. Plus a record number of Adelaide property listings. But is it cooling the market? I'm Kate Collins. See the full story on 9 News Tonight at 6.
Jade Robran on 1395, Adelaide's 5AA.
7 minutes past 3 o'clock, and we are now live streaming on Facebook and also YouTube. So welcome to the program, those that are tuning in. It is now time to talk motoring with Trent Nikolic, our Managing Director at drive.com.au. Trent, a big good afternoon to you. I bet your phone's ringing hot off the hook with people ringing asking about electric cars in the wake of petrol prices going through the roof.
Absolutely, Jade. Yeah, absolutely. So there's that. There's the fact that it seems like it's been raining in Sydney for about 6 months non-stop. So we've got all the questions about people's cars that are drowned and, you know, what to do. And then I don't know if you guys saw it down there in Adelaide, but we had a pretty horrific accident on the Sydney Harbour Bridge yesterday morning, and a car flipped upside down and then caught fire. So in terms of electric vehicles, we've had a lot of people wondering about what happens to an electric vehicle if it catches fire. So, yeah, very topical.
What does happen?
There's a couple of answers to that. So a couple of my good mates, Jade, are fireys, and I know from speaking to them that they have had recent specific training on what to do with electric vehicles if they do catch fire. So if any of your listeners are wondering, that's why EVs or electric vehicles run around with that little tag on the rego plate that says EV. It's so that in the event of an accident or a fire, that the responders that get there know what they're dealing with and they know that it's not a regular car. But one of the things that I've said to a couple of people since that accident that I refer to is it's extremely rare for modern vehicles to just combust. They don't tend to just catch fire for no reason. So that's the first thing. Then secondly, when they do, there's obviously, whether it's a conventional vehicle or an electric vehicle, there's a whole bunch of things that could potentially catch fire. So in a conventional vehicle, you've got all the electrical systems, you've got sparks and explosions going on inside the engine, you've got tanks that are full of diesel or petrol. So there's a whole bunch of things that could potentially catch fire. With electric vehicles, the issue is the density of the battery pack itself. So it's unlikely that that catches fire, but as we've seen in a couple of other instances around the world, when it does catch fire, it's difficult to put out and it does burn quite intensely. So emergency services have got a range of different things they do, but ideally, we always remind people that it's really, really good practice to carry a fire extinguisher in your car anyway, because, you know, if I'm driving to work and you've had an accident and your car catches fire, I can get out and help put it out with the fire extinguisher I've got. So it's really good practice to carry one, Jade, I think, for everybody. Just be aware that, there are fire hazards in vehicles, however unlikely it is that they'll catch fire in the first place.
Do you know, this is something a little bit, same but not. When we were in our big car accident and all the airbags went off, the whole cabin filled with what I thought was smoke, but in actual fact it's the powder coming out of the airbags, which they don't really tell you what comes out of the airbags. So I thought, oh my golly, my car's about to explode. Yep,
completely understandable. And you're in shock after a big accident, so you are going to think. you are going to think the worst, absolutely. So, yeah, that's a good point too. If your airbags do deploy, and if a lot of them go off, there'll be a big white cloud inside the car. That's nothing to panic about. But I guess, even the emergency services, they say if you've got neck pain, if you've got injuries and pain in your back and your legs, then obviously don't move. But if you've had a car accident and you're able to move and you're unsure whether there's going to be a fire or something else is happening, obviously get out of the car as quickly and as safely as you can.
Yeah, well, that was the quick reaction. We have Russell who's called in. Hello, Russell. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's just a short thing I wanted to mention. I've just listened to the gentleman before about the EV tags on number plates. A couple of problems with them. One, the main one is they've got a adhesive sticker on them, which doesn't hold for starters. So they
That's
have to
true, Russell, yep.
Yeah. And the second one is if you've got premium plates, there is absolutely no way you can put it on the front plate without interfering with either the letters or the numbers. And when I say that, I mean it's across the board. With those slimline premium plates, you can put it on the back one, which is a little bit bigger. But on the front one, you can put it on, but if you want to block, which may be beneficial to you if you go through a speed camera, it'll block either your number or your letter.
You make a good point, Russell. And we have, there's a whole business in New South Wales now of all these weird custom plates in different colours and designs, and I assume it's the same for you guys in South Australia. But yeah, you're right. Technically, I believe it's illegal to do anything that obstructs the visibility of the number plate. So it's up to the manufacturer and to the relevant registration bodies to work out the best way to affix them. I know the ones up here in New South Wales, they're generally actually riveted onto the number plate, Russell, rather than stuck on. So it's a lot harder for them, A, to fall off, or B, for you to take them off. But yeah, I agree with you. On a hot day, you can picture it now, can't you? Middle of summer in Adelaide, it's 43 degrees or something, and all these stickers are just falling off the number plates because the adhesive stickers heated up too
melting.
much, Jade. It's not a good idea.
I'm not sure whether you'll be able to answer this one or not. Kim has messaged in saying, will insurance cover electric vehicle fires while charging at home?
Yeah, that's a very good question. You know what, Jade? I might do some investigation into that because that's a good one to work out. Does it come under your home insurance?
That's it.
I guess the two things that they're going to look at is, was the fault via the electrical system in the house or was the fault via the electrical system in the car, and which one caused what? But
what sparked?
It's a very good question. Yeah, very good question.
Another one, what extinguisher is used on electric vehicle fires? Do they put the fire out because water makes lithium explode?
Yeah, so that's part of what my fiery mates were telling me, Jade. They use a special kind of, I think it's a foam that they use to douse it. I'll have to do some research into exactly what it's called because I don't know the name of it, but I do know that if you go to a Repco or a Super Cheap Auto or any of the fire safety outlets that sell all those kinds of things, they have ones that are specific for that, so you can definitely buy them.
We are going to take a really short break. If you'd like to ask Trent from drive.com.au any car questions, 8223 0000 is the number. You might be looking for an electric car after hearing petrol prices skyrocket today to someone called in saying $2.22, which is crazy. Maybe you're looking at buying a second-hand car or selling. Now's the time to give us a buzz. 8223 0000.
Whether a hobby or a full-blown dairy and livestock farm, they all have one thing in common: the need for good quality steel to keep livestock safe and secure. At Knorr Metals, we have just that. From rural fencing and gates to droppers, loading ramps and more, you'll find what you need for your farm. And if we don't, we'll source it for you quickly and at the best price. No matter what kind of farm you have, we'll help you out. At Knorr Metals, 255 Grand Junction Road, Ottaway.
We open our doors to people we trust and care about. And for over 85 years, South Australians have been opening their doors to Rest Haven. In turn, we've been opening doors to an easier, better life at home. From personal care to help with the shopping and social outings, you'll welcome the care that Rest Haven brings.
G'day, Scotty Cam here. My mates at Weeks Homes are here to make 2022 your best year ever. To help, they're extending their fantastic $45,000 cash discount off all next-gen designs. Plus, to ensure you have the freshest face on the block, they'll throw in fully rendered Hebel at no additional cost. How good is that? So, come and discover what makes a Weeks home so different. Drop in and visit a Weeks display home today. Conditions apply.
If it pops, or if it twists, you'll find it at FIVEAA. If it comes in a can, or is best in a glass, you'll find it at FIVEAA. If you serve it on the rocks, or with a paper umbrella. In fact, whether it's wine, beer or spirits, whatever you fancy, you'll find it at FIVEAA. FIVEAA, your local independent SA family liquor stores.
There are some things in SA that are better off together, like the Popeye and the Torrens, Fritz and Sauce, the Mall's Balls. But if you're after the perfect pair, you can't go past your seniors card paired with a National Pharmacies membership. Your seniors card entitles you to an exclusive National Pharmacies membership offer, and you'll benefit with up to 70% off prescription medication, 20% off prescription glasses and sunnies, and much more. So talk to our friendly team at National Pharmacies and join the community that cares for yours.
At the Albion Hotel, we never do things by halves, unless we're talking half-price dinner, that is. Right now, we've made going out for dinner a no-brainer with half-price main meals. Yep, half price. For this month only, enjoy a main course meal at half price Monday to Thursday, 5 p.m. until 8 p.m. Half price dinner, only at the Albion Hotel. You just know it's a Barreau Hotel. Churchill Road, Kilburn, just opposite Costco. Conditions apply.
$13.95, Adelaide's FIVEAA. This is Jade Robran.
And we're talking motoring with Trent Nikolic, who is the managing editor at drive.com.au. If you'd like to ask him a question, he's here for just a few more moments. 8223 0000 is the number. David has given it a buzz. David, what would you like to ask Trent?
Trent, just a query. I rang a couple of weeks ago about getting some repairs under my WRX.
Yes, I remember, mate.
Yeah, on just a call as to ask about your opinion on genuine and non-genuine parts.
Look, I think a lot of the time, it's really quite an interesting one, David. I think a lot of the time, and this is being told to me by a bunch of my mates who are mechanics as well, that often the genuine and non-genuine parts come from exactly the same place. Now, I don't say all the time because it's not the case all the time. So sometimes you can end up with cheap garbage that isn't as good as the genuine stuff, but a lot of the time the genuine and non-genuine come from the same place. The other alternative you've got is, I reckon, often if you source the parts that you need, even if they're the genuine parts, they're going to be cheaper than if you buy them through a dealer. So that's another option as well. But I think and I've done this with my own cars and with family vehicles as well, where you can guarantee the quality of what you're getting. So if you can do a bit of reading, a bit of research, find a mechanic that's used other brands that they're happy with, and you know that it's not a problem and that other people have used it, yeah, I don't think it's an issue.
Right, so you could put, if you're using a trustworthy outlet to do the repairs, you should be able to have confidence in the fact that if you say to them, I would like non-genuine, because generally they're cheaper, although they have said sometimes they're dearer. But
yes, that's right. That can be the case too, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, I just wondered what your thoughts were. So, yeah, okay, that lines up with mine.
I don't think that's a problem, David. I don't think it's a problem. I think so long as it's, if it's look, it's not in a mechanic's best interest to look you in the eye and go, if you use that non-genuine fan belt, it's not a problem, and then 2 months later the fan belt blows up and you go back there needing to get it fixed. It's not in their best interest to tell you that. So if they've got a parts supplier that they've used before and they know that the products are good, I think you can trust them.
Great. Well, thank you very much for the advice. Thanks, David, for joining in. And if you would like to ask Trent a question about your car or considering purchasing, 8223 0000 is the number to call. Trent, I've got an email here from Gary. I'm considering purchasing a new medium luxury SUV and would appreciate it if you could ask Trent his thoughts on the new 2022 Lexus NX 350h. And also in comparison to Volvo XC60 and Genesis GV70. What's the Genesis?
Wow. So Jade, he's picked out 3 of the very best in that segment there. So realistically,
good taste.
Yeah, realistically, I could just take, the easy road and just say pick whichever one you like more than the other because they're all fantastic. I think for me, out of those 3, I'd probably get the Volvo, but it would be only just. I love the Lexus. I think 350h is the hybrid, so it's going to be quite fuel efficient. Lovely thing to drive, beautiful interior, really nice vehicle. The new Genesis the GV70 is new to that market, so it's new. It's not as efficient as the other 2. It will be a little bit thirstier, but it's beautifully put together. Lovely vehicle to drive. I just think the Volvo's probably just got the edge on the other 2 in terms of the fact that it feels premium. It's got a beautiful cabin, really comfortable. So for me, if I had to put my money down right now, I'd say Volvo. But, with that said, if you were to drive the other 2 and decide that you love the Lexus, grab it because it's a fantastic car, as is the Genesis.
The Lexus is quite space age inside, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got a real sort of techie feel to it, Jade. I think that's a fair point. And it's funny because it's not actually more technologically advanced than any of the other vehicles in that segment. It just kind of looks like it is. So you tend to sit in it, or people who don't test drive a million cars all the time like we do, they sit in it and they go, wow, it feels like it's, from the future. It isn't actually, but it just looks like it is. So I think that's a feel-good factor too. You're going to buy a new Lexus and sit in it and go, wow, how fancy is this? So I think that's a factor as well.
And what about the price range? Are they all around the same?
They're all very similar money, and I think one of the things we used to criticise the Volvo with, Jade, was that they were a little bit more expensive to buy, and they were a lot more expensive to service. But Volvo's changed all of that. They've got cap price servicing. They've got a really strong warranty. Lexus, sales and service at Lexus is amazing. When you talk to Lexus owners, they tell you that is all they'll ever buy, and they're going to keep buying Lexus cars because they're just blown away by how good the service is. So, and same with Genesis. They're doing a real premium sort of feel where they'll come and pick the car up and leave you with a loan car and then drop your car back once it's done. Lexus has a concierge service like that as well. I think that, they're all going to be around the same sort of money to buy and to keep on the road. And that's why I say, for me, just the Volvo's just got that little bit of air of premium about it.
Just the nose in front. Well, Gary, I hope that helps. Let's go to Adrian now. He's called in from Melrose Park. Hello, Adrian.
Hello, Jade. How you going?
Good, mate. What's your question?
Well, new car, because I keep telling people who have cars are still under warranty and they're obligated to get servicing and at regular intervals, and I said, because they charge quite a bit, some of them, and I said, it's legal for you to go to an approved repairer to get your car serviced and a fan belt replaced or whatever, as long as when they do it, they use all genuine parts. Because some of the car dealers said, if you don't use genuine parts, the warranty becomes void. So is that something? Because I've heard that a lot. A lot of people.
Yeah, no, that can be a case while they're under warranty, mate. You're spot on there. So there's a couple of just factors there. When a vehicle is under the new car warranty, so let's for argument's sake say you buy a Mazda and it's under Mazda's new car warranty, the stipulation will generally be that the warranty is applicable if you get it serviced at Mazda or an authorised third-party repairer and it's serviced as per the logbook. So what that covers them against is you doing the 10,000 kilometre service at Mazda and then you don't get it serviced for another 40,000 Ks and you take it to XYZ mechanic and then the engine blows up and Mazda say, well, you didn't change the oil for 30,000 Ks, it's not our problem, right? So that just protects them from that. A lot of the times, though, when it is under warranty, they do say approved parts. And it's funny, people take issue with that sometimes, and I say to them, look, if your engine blows up or your gearbox blows up or something serious goes wrong with the car, the first thing you're going to do is take it back to the manufacturer and say, you've sold me a faulty vehicle. I think it's incumbent upon us as consumers to use legitimate parts and have it serviced as per the logbook to then protect ourselves against them being able to warrant their vehicle if something goes wrong with it. So I really don't have a problem with that while it's under warranty. What I was saying to the previous caller, once it's out of warranty, you can choose to service it wherever and however you want to do it. But yeah, I think it's always smart to do exactly what you're saying. While it's under warranty, make sure you use approved parts.
Thanks, Adrian. Let's talk to Dean now. Hi, Dean.
How you going?
We're good, thank you. What would you like to ask Trent?
Just thinking of buying a 2017 Hyundai Tucson.
Yes, mate. And you just want to know good, bad, or otherwise, like what they are like?
Yeah. What are they like, you know?
Really good. Yeah, really good. Really good. So, you know, if a 2017 Tucson was sold towards the end of the year, you're going to pick it up. I think it would still be covered by their 5-year warranty that they had. I think. I'd have to check that. But even if it's just out of the warranty, they're an excellent vehicle. So that medium SUV segment is really competitive. You've got RAV4 Hybrid now. You've got Mazda CX-5, Tucson Sportage from Kia. Hyundai Tucson was really good. And back then in 2017, they'd sort of made some steps forward before the other brands had. So if you compare that to a 2017 RAV4 or CX-5 or Mitsubishi Outlander, it's going to feel like the Tucson is better value for money. So, yeah, as I say, generally, with second-hand vehicles, make sure it's got a full service history, make sure it's been serviced as per the logbook, and get the one with the lowest kilometres on it that you can afford.
Yeah, well, this one's got leather and everything, so, yeah.
Yeah, top spec. And mate, it'll feel fantastic. You'll love driving it because they are a really good vehicle.
Good luck with the purchase, Dean. Hello, Anne.
Hello, how are you going?
Really good. You're looking after a Ford Cougar.
Ford Cougar Titanium. But I've had it for about 6 or 7 years, but they didn't stay on the market very long. It was just a very short window, and I'm just hoping it's a reasonable car.
No, they're a great little car. Yeah, they're a great little compact car, and no problems at all. The only reason it didn't stay on the market is that they effectively replaced it with what they now sell as the Ford Puma. So it's not the same vehicle, but that's what they've replaced that gap in the market with effectively in their lineup. So, yeah, no problems with the Cougar. Good little thing. And if you're enjoying it, just keep servicing it and hang on to it.
Yeah, so it's diesel, though. Is there a problem with that? They're saying they're going to phase out diesel. And I'm sort of thinking, well, I don't really want to change it or anything, but I just...
No, look, Anne, I think one of the problems I have with the way this information is put out there is that it makes people unduly panic. Yes, they're going to phase out diesel, but it won't be in our lifetime, and it might be well beyond that, because it's all well and good to say we're going to stop manufacturers from selling diesel cars. No problem. They could do that tomorrow. But there's millions of diesel cars on the road, and they're not just going to stop offering diesel for people to put in those vehicles to keep driving them, because not everybody can go out tomorrow and buy a new electric car if they said that's all you can sell. So they will phase it out, but it's not going to happen anytime soon, and you will have access to conventional fuel for quite some time.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Anne,
no
very
worries,
much. Anne. Appreciate it. Thanks to all our callers who have phoned in. Trent, big thanks to you, champ. I look forward to talking to you again next week.
Thanks, Jade.
Have a great arvo. Coming up after the break, we're in for a bit of a treat, a big treat actually, I can say, because I went and saw a little sneak peek of Hugh Sheridan's show My Way. It is coming to the Fringe. It was really, really spectacular. Local lad, you would know him from Packed to the Rafters and lots of performances around town. From the Fringe, he's just got the most incredible way on stage, and joining him is truly a voice of an angel. Her name is Maya Sykes. They're going to be joining us in studio coming right up afterwards. So if you can, download the Facebook app or log on to fiveaa.com.au and you'll be able to watch the performance live. You're listening to 1395 Adelaide's 5AA.
This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Good afternoon, I'm Michaela Kamarek. Shane Warne's body will be flown back to Australia today after Thai police ruled out foul play. 2,000 Sydney residents near the Manly Dam have been told to prepare to evacuate because it could spill due to flash flooding. Ukraine's defence ministry says a senior Russian military commander has been killed on the outskirts of the eastern city of Kharkiv, and AFL clubs will be able to list up to 20 players for COVID contingency lists. Partly cloudy this afternoon, 24. Right now it's 22. More news at 4 o'clock and As It Happens on 5AA.
In times of loss, you need Embrace. Arranging Mum's funeral was never going to be easy. But Deanne Edwards from Embrace Funerals truly cared about delivering the perfect funeral to honour her life, to share our beautiful family memories, along with those of the many other lives she'd touched. Every detail of Mum's funeral was created with exceptional care and at a really affordable cost. Embrace Funerals gave us peace of mind. When funerals need to be perfect, choose Embrace.
If you need a window, and not just anything will do, just call Statesman Windows back to redirect to you.
Nobody beats Statesman Windows, not on quality and certainly not on service. Windows, sliding doors, bifolds and more, made right here in Adelaide, factory direct to you. For windows when and where you want them, call Statesman Windows, states.com.au.
Windows when and where you want them. Windows when and where you want them.
Discover paradise this autumn at Discovery Park Schoolwa. Sink into the coastal charm of an iconic beach town with newly developed accommodation, now including glorious grass sites, a nature playground and resort-style pool, overlooked by spacious family cabins. Plus, a brand new water park opening soon. Don't miss the fun down at Discovery Park Schoolwa this autumn. Book your cabin or site today at discoveryholidayparks.com.au.
Womadelaide returns to its spiritual home in Botanic Park for its 30th anniversary with a birthday party to remember. Catch artists like Paul Kelly, The Cat Empire, Goanna, Joseph Tawadros with the Adelaide Symphony Orchestra and more from March 11 to 14. With a reduced capacity this year, tickets are selling fast. So make sure you don't miss out on Womadelaide, March 11 to 14. Book your tickets and see the full lineup now at womadelaide.com.au.
I'm Kathy Nagel, the Chief Executive Officer at Western Hospital Henley Beach. We're proud to say the Western Hospital GP Clinic has vaccinated over 11,000 community members as part of the statewide response to COVID-19. Our doctors, nurses and staff have exceeded expectations and we're very proud of our contribution. If you're looking for a GP, why not get online and book an appointment? We are dedicated to providing individualised consultations. Visit westernhospitalgp.com.au.
G'day, it's Jared for Wayville Mitsubishi. The iconic Wayville Australian Motors Mitsubishi showroom on Goodwood Road is going through an incredible rebuild, but the sales and service centre are still open. Same location, different entrance. Right now you'll need to enter via Goodwood Road for sales and via Davenport Lane for service. Looking for a new Mitsi or servicing your existing car? Get in touch with the amazing team at Wayville Mitsubishi opposite the showgrounds. Driven by Australian Motors. LVD 80.
Jade Robran on 1395, Adelaide's 5AA.
And is it a good afternoon? It's 3:34 on this Tuesday afternoon. And if you are live streaming, you will be seeing local lad, singer, performer, actor extraordinaire Hugh Sheridan. He's back home for It's You. Of course it's you. Welcome back. And we are joined by one of your dearest friends.
Most beautiful friend, Maya Sykes.
Who truly has...
She's in the house.
Hi. Nice to see you guys. Last night I got a little sneak peek of what the show was going to be about, and it was truly spectacular. The bond between you two is really quite special. How did you meet?
Well, we met through a friend of mine, and friend of ours, Norm Roper, who actually should be here right now, but he tested positive for COVID, and so, but he's fine. He's asymptomatic, and he was really surprised, and so hopefully he'll be here next week. But it was actually Norm that introduced us, and Maya was appointed my backup singer, and he had no idea that I was a huge fan of Maya Sykes way before anyone that's listening. If you just Google Maya Sykes and you just click onto anything, my favourite was, what's that Adele song? Hello?
Oh, hello.
Hello. That was what first got me into Maya. And then Norm said to me, oh, I've got a backup singer for you tonight, and it's Maya Sykes. And I was like...
what?
She could not be my backup singer because she's a superstar, super duper duper star.
Aww. Well, let's just name some names that you've sung. Okay, we've got Beyonce, Aretha Franklin, Janet Jackson, Michael Bublé, La La Land. You've lent your vocals to. The list goes on and on.
She's Sheridan's number one, let's face it. I mean, they're all just backups.
You're really lucky you found her. How did you convince her to come to your hometown?
Because I love her and she's known. You take over.
Well, I think, number one, it was great to be back singing with my friend, and COVID kind of halted those things, so after his father passed, I think one of the hardest things for me in that was that I couldn't go hug my friend. I couldn't, put my arms around him and hold him up. So I think one of the things that I loved about the offer to do this show is that it gives us the opportunity to connect again and to really celebrate friendships and family. And I just noticed, even from the show that we did last night, people really want connection again. And they're really thriving for that. So to be given that opportunity to do that in a whole different country, I mean, who wouldn't jump on
Also,
that?
is it fair for me to say that probably I remember our first meeting, and is it fair to say that she didn't know how to respond to the fact that I was a massive fan, and she was booked as my backup singer, and I'm there sweating and drooling and just looking at her going, we could do some duets, and you shouldn't do. I don't want you to do backup because you're a star. But the truth is, she was kind of okay. And Maya Sykes is also Maya Sykes is forever the first female who ever joined the California Crooners Club, and everyone that has followed my Fringe journey knows that the California Crooners Club was made for the Fringe. It was a man's only band at the start, and Maya broke it because she was such a star. She had to come in, and I was like, nah, coming in.
Yeah,
coming in.
Staying for good, girl.
Well, yeah, now we got a new Crooners Club.
Yeah, and it's so lovely
It's a duo.
to be embraced in such a way. I mean, you go through this career and there are lots of highlights, but one of the things that I've taken from my career thus far is go where the people are the warmest, go where the people are the most nurturing and the most loving, and I've always gotten that in all of Australia, so it's no surprise that I'm getting that tenfold in your hometown, Hugh.
I know.
Well, we'd love to know a bit about you. I mean, I've touched a little bit about the people that you've sung with, but that's an incredible rap shit. That's amazing.
No, Maya's amazing, and you should tell everyone.
Well, I've been singing for a really, really long time.
She has a beautiful mother as well.
I do. I have a beautiful mother.
She looks after her.
And she's wonderful.
Well, we met your mother last night, which we'll elaborate on. You're surrounded by good women.
I am, which is, I think a calling card of both Hugh and I is that we're surrounded by lovely, lovely women that nurture and take care of us.
Including you.
Well, thank you, love. But you take care of me, so it's a two-way street. My mom is actually right now getting her master's in film production.
Oh,
so
cool.
she took an idea of mine and she's producing a short based on an idea of mine that I wrote called The Backup Singer Diaries. Because backup singers just have a lot of weird little stories.
Amazing stories.
Yeah,
weird little stories, stories that you could eat out on for 25 years. The stories, single stories, one night could be
epic,
epic, because backup singers for David Bowie or George Michael or whoever, Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson. You think about it, it's not a normal life.
It isn't.
It's
and
not
are you
at all.
considered one when you're a backup singer for such a big star? Are you equal, or are you kind of oh no, you're banished to the other room?
It depends on the artist, really, and it depends on. I've worked for artists where we hardly interacted with them at all, and we do put in rehearsals where they maybe would show up for 1 hour,
Britney.
but the entire band, actually the other one.
The other Britney.
No, Christina.
I was thinking of the other one.
How do you gel on stage then if they don't even give you the time?
Well, it's more I'm not trying to throw Christina under a bus because she's very professional and very good, but she's doing a lot of things.
It's all right. We're in Adelaide. You can throw them under the bus. Don't worry.
Well, you come you
Totally
work
fine.
with a musical director who just knows that you are going to bring the energy and bring the enthusiasm. So a lot of times, especially if I don't get to work directly, like Beyonce, I never met her. I have no idea. But she was really, she came by and like kind of shook our hands a little bit. But I mean, she literally was so busy. She kind of came in.
You would have met
came out.
Michael. and stuff like that.
Well, I only knew Michael because of Bill. My uncle was a costume designer.
Her
and he
uncle,
designed
can
the
I
clothes.
just stop FIVEAA hearing it first?
Yes, go.
Her uncle designed, invented the glove, the glittery,
Yeah,
what
it was
do you call
actually a
sequin
mistake
glove,
then. Yeah, it was
the
actually a
diamond
mistake. I thought
glove,
you were
the
talking about
glove.
Michael Bublé, but
No,
we're talking about
Michael Jackson.
big
Michael Jackson, and he also did all of Neil Diamond's
He did Neil Diamond for 38 years.
He did the hat, the whole thing. He was just all
He did
across
Rhythm
it.
Nation.
Just
he did-
quietly.
Yeah. So I kind of grew up with that. He did all the Earth, Wind, and Fire stuff.
She has a few.
I have one. When my
But
uncle
you got a
passed,
few hats, and you won't give them to me.
I have 2 hats.
I even asked to buy it, and she said no.
No way. It's pricey.
She said that she could lend it to me
I
for a
can't-
photo
I
shoot.
will lend it to
You
you
would
for a
have
photo
some
shoot.
fun with it, I guess. You
I
do
will.
dress
No, I'll
up
take her up on
completely.
that. But I did offer to buy it, and she was like, "There's no price. There's no price."
See, in Australia, we put something like that straight into the pool room. That's what we call it. It's a real
Yeah.
Aussie slang thing. So if you've got something really special in America, where does it go?
Well, when my uncle passed, we
Good
took
question.
the glove. I don't know that a lot of people know this, but there's always a pair of socks to match every glove. So they're always done in
Sequin
a set.
socks.
They're actually Swarovski crystal.
That would hurt.
No, they're interwoven.
Do you
in this
think we could
particular
get a
mesh.
sponsorship?
I used to, when I was working for
Hashtag
my uncle, I'd
Swarovski.
have to call Swarovski and be like, I need 3 gross of crystals.
For
Can I get
socks.
that? But
And just one glove.
That's
2
not
socks,
that's not
one
a weird
glove.
order at all. That's
2 socks, one glove. I mean,
But you'd have
it's
to
not a
stay
Christmas
awake.
tree.
You'd have
Now-
to stay awake and call them in Austria, and I was like, "Hi."
Maya, I need to ask you, is he being fabulous and taking you around this private jet that we've been seeing photos of him
Oh
out and
yeah,
about?
we arrived by private jet,
Ooh, you're
courtesy
fancy.
of Rebels. And no,
Where did you go?
what? No, I went to. I actually wasn't going to go, but actually, it was Maya who said, "No, you're going to go. You're going to have a really good time. It's going to be relaxing, and all of the things that Maya told me not to do, I didn't do because I was exhausted."
But you've had a heavy 12 months.
Oh,
You
mate,
need to have
haven't we
some
all,
fun.
though? I mean, look, you know what? I look at the last 30 months and I go, yeah, look, 5 friends died, marriage fell over, whatevs, a couple of other things, cancelled by the trans, that's all right. If you haven't been cancelled by the trans, you haven't lived. But on top of that, you just go, that's life. And that's why we're doing the show. And
Life's full of chapters.
it's full of chapters, and it's how you come out the end of it. And
Mhm.
it's about the next chapter. And it's also about creating a space for the chapters that have been and saying, okay, I'm going to give reverence for what happened in my life. And
reverence to the way that we survived those things. I think it's
Exactly.
important to note that we all
Yeah.
have gone through trauma. We
Yeah.
survived it because of our friendships, because
Mhm.
of our family,
Mhm.
the people that stopped and sat with you when you needed a minute, the
Mm.
people that you helped in your own life. So I feel like, especially this show, for me at least, is really a celebration of all the facets of life. Not
Exactly.
just the good ones, not just the bad ones, but all
Yeah.
of it. They all tell
That's-
a great story.
Yeah, that's why I called it My Way. And My Way is a song that you wouldn't think of, you wouldn't even imagine singing My Way until you were 60s, I think, or 70s.
fair enough.
80s is very fair. You can sing My Way. 90s, if you make it to 100, you can sing My Way. No
Totally.
question.
You're on the bar and
But-
you are owning it with a glass of whiskey.
Well, but then I found out that My Way was actually written by an 18-year-old, a French boy, and Paul Anka wrote the lyrics. But the song was written by someone that was only 18, and it changed my mind on the song because we always knew the funeral. And now the end is near. But it's really, when you look at the lyrics, My Way is about your point of perspective. It's not me. It's you and you and
Yeah.
me. It's all of us. It's the way that
Your
you.
journey.
It's your journey, and that song can become very personal, and it's about how you live right now. It's not about when you die. It's about day to day, moment to moment, minute to minute, is how we live and respond to everything. And so,
Which is so timely for now because we all
Exactly.
have been on a journey.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'd love to talk about some of the songs that you guys share together because it is a journey of friendship. I feel like I only saw 3 little songs and it was a taste of just a beautiful connection. And you touched on it before that people don't want to just go to a concert, see people on stage to sing. They want a connection, and you gave that.
Thank you.
we
Thank you
have
so
a
much.
good- Maya and I have a great connection.
Well-
I just look at her and I just
We smile and we laugh.
I love her
and
so much.
We
Maya
we
is
celebrate
an
those things, you know?
exceptional human being. For anyone that's
Aw.
listening, she is an
Back at you, my love.
exceptional human being.
You've only been single for a little while, okay? Just hang on.
Oh, look, no. Maya's my sister. Like, we're not about to get are we going to get hitched?
No, we're going to get hitched if we need green card things. We had
I
this
would say
discussion.
that Dad
We
would
had
love that, but he's dead, so that's fine. But your mum might approve. I don't know. She probably wouldn't, actually.
Well, tell us about My
She'd be like,
Way.
he was
Is
with
it-
a guy. He can't be with you.
You know, the thing about My Way is that we picked songs that were interpersonal to us, but also told the story, to me, of what the last 30 months have been like. Because even in that trauma, there's still been really beautiful triumph. So we're also telling the narrative of Hugh's life in a lot of ways. We do a song that he got to do when he was in school, and it just tells the story of that 180 connection of when you felt safe in school, and now as an adult, what makes you feel safe? Sometimes it's going back to those memories. So a
Yeah.
lot of this is celebration of positive memories, celebration of people that we've lost, a celebration of Australia as well, because we're doing some Peter Allen things and we're celebrating what that means and what it means to still want to come together. I think that
Yeah.
that's a really important
But
thing
also-
to note.
yeah, definitely. And also the words, lyrics are so important, especially as a singer. When you're singing them, it's so good to do classics, but also some undiscovered songs. Even like I'm guaranteed that 99% of the audience will not know The Natural Thing to Do or Just Ask Me, I've Been There, which are two of Peter Allen's classic songs, but no one would know them. And what makes them so classic is the lyrics are so good and so profound. And so we're bringing that back. And it's not for any other reason, but that's exactly where I am. Just Ask Me, I've Been There, or The Natural Thing to Do.
Well, we're going to take a short break while these guys warm up their vocal cords because we're going to belt out a song after the break. aren't we?
Don't threaten me with a good time.
Stay with us. You're listening to Adelaide's 5AA.
5AA, celebrating International Women's Day with Michelle Obama.
If we want to give all of our children a foundation for their dreams and opportunities worthy of their promise, if we want to give them that sense of limitless possibility, that belief that there is always something better out there if you're willing to work for it, then we must work like never before.
5AA.
I've been driving for most of my life and I've always been a safe driver. But as I've grown older, driving has become more challenging. Intersections feel busier. Driving in peak hour traffic and travelling longer distances is stressful. And driving at night or in bad weather is risky. Even small mistakes can be costly. Look for the signs. If driving is getting harder, there are alternatives. Make a plan to stop driving on your terms. Don't stop driving by accident. Think road safety, a message from the Government of South Australia.
This week at Foodland, Australian premium beef rump steak. Now, butcher's best, just $24.90 a kilo. Till March 8th, while stocks last.
Foodland, the mighty South Aussies, yeah.
In parts of Norway, it's not uncommon for homeowners to find a polar bear in their driveway.
And in Adelaide, polar bear sightings are on the rise thanks to Polar Air Heating and Cooling. The only bear you'll see is on the side of our vans. For a home as cool as a Norwegian chalet, call Polar Air Heating and Cooling for professional and prompt installation. Polar Air Heating and Cooling, when your lair is unbearable. polarairhc.com.au.
What makes Ray White the big name in business broking? They're people, like multi-time SA Business Broker of the Year, Brett Buckley, and his team of business professionals. They take a deep dive into your business, finding value and potential, and they know what they're looking for, because they know businesses. They're not real estate salespeople trying to sell businesses, they're business people selling businesses. If you want to know what your business is worth, touch base with Brett. Search Ray White Business Sales SA, multiple Business Broker of the Year awards.
Hi, I'm Izzy, and my family runs St. Louis Home Care, which was started by my great-grandma 75 years ago. I wanted to introduce you to Deb, a carer and our receptionist. She's great.
Hi, Izzy.
Deb, you've been at St. Louis for 10 years. What do you love about it?
Oh, it's a great family-friendly environment and everyone's happy.
That's because St. Louis got them covered.
With everything from shopping and meals to gardening and home maintenance.
And don't forget the social activities. Google St. Louis Home Care to find out how my family can help take care of yours.
Sometimes little things can turn into big things. Jammed garden taps, blocked watering systems. Give Ken a call today and see how easy and affordable it is to fix them. Give Ken a call. Ken Hall Plumbers, 8364 5855.
There are some things in SA that are better off together, like the Popeye and the Torrens, Fritz and Sauce, the Mall's Balls. But if you're after the perfect pair, you can't go past your seniors card paired with a National Pharmacies membership. Your seniors card entitles you to an exclusive National Pharmacies membership offer, and you'll benefit with up to 70% off prescription medication, 20% off prescription glasses and sunnies, and much more. So talk to our friendly team at National Pharmacies and join the community that cares for yours.
$13.95, Adelaide's 5AA. This is Jade Robran.
Good afternoon. It is 8 minutes to 4 o'clock, and coming up after 4 o'clock, it is Rowey's Sports Show. But I'm really chuffed. I've got Hugh Sheridan and his delightful angel voice in studio with us, Maya Sykes. They are on stage on Wednesday night, bringing you My Way at Fringe, playing 11 shows at the Moa at Gluttony from the 9th to the 20th of March. Hugh, I heard a little whisper that this could potentially...
A careless whisper?
Well, no.
A David Bowie whisper?
Well, it could be if you sing it to
Well,
me
what
in
is it?
David
What-
Bowie kind of esque way, that this is your last performance.
Well, I mean,
Say it's not so.
yeah. Well, I'm scheduled to be directing my first movie. It's my debut. My directorial debut
That's
is
so cool.
scheduled for the end of this year through to start of next year, which I'm shooting here in Adelaide and in Melbourne. But I can't see how I can
Do everything.
fit in. I mean, I could try and fit in some shows for Adelaide Fringe, but I really feel like that would be a lot on top of directing a movie.
So it's a hiatus, if you will.
Just a little
a sabbatical.
Yeah.
It's a
the
sabbatical.
world needs you on the stage.
Yeah, well, I also think Adelaide needs stories to be told, and I'm very proud of the movie that I wrote for, not just for Adelaide, but it really is for Adelaide. It's for young. I often think about young people in Adelaide and what it's like, especially if you were a young dancer. I mean, you've got to remember, this was like, my dance career was like 25 years ago. But being a young boy in Adelaide, I didn't actually, to be honest, want to do ballet. I never really wanted to. That was actually my ticket out of a city that wasn't taking young entertainers and people that wanted to be dancers or singers or actors. I was told at school that I had to be a lawyer, and they were really pushing me in that area. And then eventually my parents, every single child in my family had gone to the same school, and then eventually my parents said, okay, you can leave now, because they really understood that they didn't get me. And then thank God I did leave, and I went to University Senior College, which had just opened. I was in their first year here in Adelaide, and it was so good, and they were wonderful. And changed my life. And then I got into the Australian Ballet School, and I finished school over and in Victoria. But it was a real journey, and dance became part of my life. But I really decided to do dance just because I didn't feel at home here at home until I was at USC.
Well, we're not going to get to see you dance right this very moment, but
You
we
will.
are. Oh, we're going to bring out the jazz hands.
I can
like
dance.
It. Okay.
I can dance
Hang
if you ask
about.
me.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you are in for a treat because these two beautiful people are going to give us a little sneak peek of My Way. Introducing Hugh Sheridan and Maya Sykes.
What's the key?
G.
Gee, I'd like to see you looking swell. A baby.
Diamond bracelets, Woolworths doesn't sell.
Oh no,
my
baby.
Until
Till that lucky day, you know darn well. Maybe I can't give you anything, no.
I can't give you anything.
I can't give you anything, no.
Facts.
And that's facts.
So the show, jazz, toe tapping.
Oh, it's everything.
Jazz, rock, musical theatre.
Look, if you look at the last 13 months of your life, no matter who you are, whether you're me or just someone listening, you'll probably go, I could put Coldplay, David Bowie, Frank Sinatra, a little bit of Ella Fitzgerald, maybe even a musical to that, and maybe even a song that I don't even know what it is because I could make one up because my life has been so mental.
On that note, beautiful people, thank you so much for joining the program. And you can see My Way playing 11 shows at the Moa Gluttony from the 9th to the 20th of March. Thank you so much for joining the program. Have a beautiful weekend, afternoon. We're not quite weekend yet, are we? Do you know why? Because I went to your show last night and I feel like it's the weekend. Good afternoon.
The passing of someone close places unique stress on family and friends. At this time, Farrell and